What's up, guys? Coach Jameson. Got a nice short little sequence here for you today to work into the back chain, maybe help with any sort of hip discomfort, back discomfort you're feeling, or with your knees. This is going to help create a stronger landing pattern. It's going to be about 6 minutes of work. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to grab a set of blocks. We're going to put them onto their second setting to start. And the first thing we're going to do is get into a single side rocker on our left side. So I'm going to bring my knees together. My feet are going to point down maybe towards that bottom right corner of the mat. And the first thing I'm going to do is lift up my right leg. I'm going to sit back into my left side, walk my blocks back where they need to be for support. They're maybe off to the left just a little bit here. And notice that my left hand is a little bit further back than my right. I'm going to get my timer started. As I start rocking here, notice I'm keeping my eyes forward. My chest is up. My spine is nice and long. So as I rock back, I'm not rounding into the spine. I'm trying to keep my chest and butt up. Notice that my right leg is pulling forward as I sit back into my left hip. Another thing that's going to help here, if you're not able to feel glute and hamstring, if you're feeling more quad and hip, is turn the blocks up to the taller setting. But we can even think of pressing down into this left shin and foot as we sit and rock back. I'm also pressing into my hands to sit back here to add a little bit of extra resistance. We got about 20 more seconds. Keep going here before we go into our next little movement of the sequence. And again, the main priority here is rocking and loading into this back left side. 4, 3, 2, good. Relax. You should be in that left side just a little bit. We're going to bring the blocks forward to their tallest setting. I'm going to step that left foot forward. We're going to stay in this left side. We're going to go into an isometric drop in. We're going to tuck the back toes. Make sure this front foot is straight. We got a nice maintained arch. I'm going to tuck the back toes. Slowly bring that back foot forward until I got all my weight into this front column and front foot. Once I'm here and that back foot is nice and light, I'm going to make sure that back leg is rotated inwards, and I'm going to start by pulling this left hip back and up to the sky. We should already see that our leg is opening outward, so my kneecap is pointing out to the left. My left hand is going to come to my chest, and then I'm going to lift from my back side. So I'm going to start by bringing my chest up, coming fingertips to the blocks, and then I'm going to slowly float up into this left side. Again, being mindful, weight on the back leg is very light. I'm keeping most of my weight anchored onto this front foot and column. If you feel like you got good balance here, you can go ahead. The next step would be to elevate that front heel. And we're just going to hold here for a minute. If when you lift that front heel, you lose tension onto that back side, things get really wobbly, go ahead and lower. Keep a strong foot. Keep holding here. We got about 30 more seconds. I want you to imagine like you're scissoring your legs into each other. Left hip pulling back, right hip's pulling forward. That back right knee, we can bend towards the ground just a little bit here. Keep holding, keep with your breath. Main points, hey, do you have a nice strong foot and arch? Am I loaded into this left back side? Go ahead and come up to standing. Third part of this is our third movement. We're just going to go into a nice step back lunge as deep as you want. So the range of motion is up to you. I'll start in a more shallow range and get into the full range as I get into the motion. So let's go ahead and start. Right foot is going to step back, rotate in. Left hip pulls back as if we're going into that drop in. Step back up. I want you to leave the arms relaxed here so we can kind of utilize them with the pattern. Our running arms, I step back, load in this left side, left shoulder, left elbow, pull back. We're going for time here. Again, if you want to just work this shallow one, this is totally fine. Main points, again, strong foot, loading in the hip. We want to go deeper. We can start lowering that back knee a little bit more towards the floor. Keep going here. We got about 24 seconds. And again, heel coming up. That's an option for you. If you feel like your balance is strong and you want to start working that heel up, you can. You can keep the heel down. We can work all the way to the floor if you like. Just being mindful again. Hips staying back. Chest is coming forward. We're not upright. And that left knee is not driving forward. So we're staying loaded that back left side. Let's go ahead and get one more here. Good, we'll come all the way back down to the mat, hands back to the blocks. Let's get into the right side. Same thing, just on the right side. So we'll start knees together. Feet are going to point now to that opposite bottom left corner of the mat. Blocks will come over to the right just a little bit for support. Right hand back. Lift that left leg up. Start loading and pulling back into that right side. Right shin, foot pressing down. And again, it's as if I'm pushing into my blocks to push that right hip back, and then I'm resisting with that back shin just a little bit. You know, we're just going for a full minute. Even here, just doing a minute, you should really be able to get pressure, engagement into that right back side. You should start to feel that working here. If you're not, I suggest maybe holding it, sitting back, and trying to work that tension more to that right back side. And notice my eyes and chest are up. I'm not allowing my spine to go into a bunch of flexion here, but keeping a nice long spine. We got 12 seconds left. Keep rocking, keep finding it in the range. Up to you. I can work a little bit deeper. I like pulsing in more of a short range. Once I find that pressure and engagement back there, I want to stay in it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax. Blocks come forward up to their tallest setting. We're going to bring the right foot forward now. Again, set it up strong. Do we have a nice strong foot? That second toe is pointing straight. I got a nice maintained arch. I'm going to tuck the toes. Lift that back knee. Slowly bring that back foot forward. Give you a little front view here. So I got that nice space between the feet. Most of my weight's on this front side. I'm going to start by pulling this back hip up towards the sky. Notice how I'm loading out and back. My kneecap's pointing out. Right hand's going to come to the chest. I'm going to slowly lift the chest. Try to pull and lift from that strong back side. Keeping that back foot light. And we're going to hold here. You know, we're holding for time. Full minute. If you're feeling comfortable here, remember again, you can go into lifting that heel if you feel like your balance is good. We're maintaining that strong foot, maintaining that pressure back, not letting things drip into that front space, but keeping that hip pulled back. Find your breath. We got 30 more seconds here. We're going to think of scissoring the feet into each other so like I'm pulling my heel back. That left foot's pulling forward, so we're pulling into each other. Being mindful, my head is in line right over that foot. If I have a mirror in front, that would be best to check these little spaces. 10 seconds. We can even play with pressing the feet down and away from each other if you'd like. Play with both those variations, pulling in or pressing down and away. 3, 2, 1, up to standing. Good. Let's go into our step back lunge on this side. Again, we can start very shallow, pulling that hip back. We don't have to go into that full range. Or if you want right away and you want to go all the way down, again, just make sure we're pulling back, open and loading to this back side on the right. Step up. Load. Step up. Another thing I want you to notice is, again, as I pull back, that knee's not driving forward. As you get better and we can really keep load on the front side, you'll notice you can come down to the top of that left foot. Notice when I come up to standing, not thrusting forward in this front space, losing that engagement into that glute, keeping that hip back, coming up, and it's staying back as I get standing. We got 13 more seconds here. Keep repping at your own pace. Again, no right or wrong. That's why we're going for time. Keeping in mind, strong foot, strong hip. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's come all the way back down. That's a quick little sequence to help load into the glutes, create a stronger foot and hip. Go ahead and give it a shot. Let me know what you think.